Good evening. On behalf of the Black Greek Council and Carbondale branch and the NAACP, I want to warmly welcome you to our Carbondale Community High School District 165 Candidate Forum. We are honored to have you all with us here today. Community members, engaged voters, and of course, the candidates who have stepped up to serve. This forum is an opportunity for you, the voters, to hear directly from the individuals seeking to represent you. Our goal tonight is to foster a fair, informative, and respectful discussion about the issues that matter most to our community. Elections are about choices, and informed choices are the foundation of a strong democracy. By being with us today, you're playing an essential role in shaping our collective future. We encourage open minded listening, thoughtful questions, civil discourse throughout the event. Thank you, Black Greek Council, Carbondale branch of the NAACP, for making this event possible. A special thank you as well to our candidates for taking the time to engage with the community. But before we begin, let us go over a few guidelines to ensure a productive and respectful discussion. Our timekeeper, Ms. Eva Liddell, sitting in the front of you, will raise her green card when it's time for you to begin your response. She will raise her yellow card to indicate you have 15 seconds remaining. And when you're asked to stop talking when her red card is raised. Responses to the questions will be limited to 1.5 minutes to ensure fairness. We ask that the audience remain respectful, abstain from applause or commentary during candidates' responses. After the first three questions, we will ask candidates to raise red or green cards to indicate agreement or disagreement with each issued question. Audience, we also want to make you aware that we have index cards for you to write other questions you may want the candidates to answer. We will ask as many as we will ask as many as the time allowed. Simple and simply raise your card when you're ready for it to be collected. With that, let's get started. Please join us in welcoming our moderators, Dr. Ella Lacey and Miss Lavelle Hayes Cox, who will guide us through today's discussions. Thank you so very much.
Good evening. As stated, I am Ella Lacey, and we will start with a question that we ask each of you to answer that's about yourself. So we'll start with Ms. Van Winkle. And the first question is, what motivated you to seek re-election, that is, to the school board?
Testing. Is this working? Okay, good. Um, Good evening. Thank you. I'm seeking re-election. I was motivated to run for the board originally. I think in large part because I am an educator and a parent, and advocating for children and my own children um, showed me that is not always easy, or not every child has an adult that feels um, they have the tools to advocate for their own child. So in a way, serving on the board gives me a chance to be an advocate for a lot of children all at one time. So
Thank
Good
you.
evening. My name is Wendell Pullman. Um, so I'm running for my second term. The first time I was moved to run because I really believe in public education. Um, and I wanted to give back more to my community. And now I'm running because I feel like I'm just learning, and I've learned, and now I know what the process is. There's a lot that goes on to run our wonderful high school. And I feel so honored to be a part of it right now, and I want to continue doing that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Rani Debabne. I've been calling Carbondale home since 2012. Every time I passed by CCHS, my kids were so young, I was scared and intimidated. But when my older kid became a freshman, I got to see how beautiful CCHS is. And I got to see that it is a building block and it is the future of Carbondale. Whatever happens there, whatever we're doing with the kids, is the future of our city. And because I love Carbondale and I would love to be part of the building up of this community, I learned about the opportunity 2 years ago of a vacancy on the board. So I applied for that and I was appointed. So this is the first time for me to run for the election. And what Wendell said is so true. It's a learning process. These past 2 years, I've learned a lot, and I came to understand how hard it is to run a school, not just financially, but because every student comes with a full package, comes with a story. And if we really want to make a difference, we need to work with every single person who walks through these doors. So that's why I'm motivated to run for the board.
You, Wendell. Yeah. How can the district best ensure students are well prepared to succeed in school and life?
One of the things that I've really been watching over the last 2 years specifically is our administration and counseling has been more proactive being at the feeder schools. We have 4 feeder schools coming into our high school and not just going once and saying this is what the schedule is going to be. They're going multiple times to talk about what the experience is going to be like. We're bringing them in to the high school sooner so that they feel comfortable in this really big building. And to me, that is really helping our students succeed and starts them off on the right foot, understanding what a GPA is, understanding what the expectations are, the bell schedule, where classes are. It's a really big change from the schools that they're coming from.
Thank you. No. Would you like me to repeat it? Okay. How can the district best ensure students are well prepared for success in school and in life?
I know Wendell talked about coming into the school. I would like to talk about what we're doing at the school to prepare them. Recently, and I would like to invite you all to come on the 27th. We're having an open house for the CTE, like new building that CCHS just opened. Students are already doing all their classwork there, but it's going to be an open house 4 o'clock this coming Thursday. I believe that this is the future. People always think about college, and we were talking about all those student loans and everything, but it takes more and the community needs more. So CTE is one way that CCHS is trying to build students and prepare them for life. The other thing is that we do not just do academic. It's not just like math and science, because smartness and talent is of different types. Some people are emotionally smart, some people are psychologically like talented with their hands, others are talented with their brains. So we also offer a lot of clubs where they can just grow and be exposed to different things in life, not just academia. So CCHS is doing all of this. And I do believe also that we offer a lot of AP and dual credit and honors classes for those who need to do more. And with doing all of these things.
Thank you. Julie, would you like me to repeat it?
I think I'm okay. um, I want to build on what these two have already added and touched on in another answers. We're educating each child as they are, as they come in. And so CCHS is making great strides trying to provide opportunities for every student based on their interest, the ability to take classes. For example, there's more sections of honors classes available. So if a student is is encouraged to try the honors class, and if they are in the honors class and they feel like they're drowning in a way, they can move at the same time without disrupting their entire schedule. They can move to the regular class at the same time. So things like that, encouraging students to push themselves academically, tools for their success, their wellness. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Ms. Dadabneh, we'll ask you the question first. What two local issues should be top priorities to be addressed by CCHS? And what are you willing to do as a school board member to address these issues?
I believe it's poverty. And I've seen it through the past 10 years increasing in our community, sadly. And the second thing is mental health. And I do believe that 2020 had a great impact on mental health on adults and on kids. And we are seeing it more and more in our schools. So, with mental health, I think also that the school already started just employing more counselors and recruiting more counselors. And that is something as a board member I would encourage and work hard. And even if I know anybody in the community who's interested, I would try to recruit them. And the second thing with poverty, I think we have to do like everything as a community. It's not just CCHS. Like all the businesses around us, I would love to have them all, for example, have a schedule for our football players that are going to go play their games to feed them before they go to the game, because that's one of the issues that we just witnessed last season. So I would love to be involved more in the community to raise money for families and for the students, for them to be able to play sports and for them to be able to have the necessities in life.
Could you repeat the question?
Certainly.
Thank you.
What two local issues should be top priorities to be addressed by CCHS? And what are you willing to do as a school board member to address these issues?
One of the things I wish that I've been kind of thinking about myself how I could work on this is talking about service. And when I say service is what could we be teaching our kids very simply after a soccer game or after a meeting after school, go outside, pick up some trash. Something about taking care of the area that you're in. This is just one idea that is, I think, something that would be, it's just the beginning of an idea about instilling into our students a giving back of service, even if it's something as small as something that we get the clubs and the sports teams to do as an extra 5 hours a day, and not a day, excuse me, a semester of something that they're doing that they're giving back to each other, i.e., they're giving back to their school. The other thing for me is that I hope that we could figure out how to engage students to want to be teachers. I think we have a huge drought of teachers, and I want more people to want to teach.
Thank you. Ms. Van Winkle, should I repeat the question? Or are you okay?
I think I'm okay.
All right.
The local issue, I'm so glad you said that about our teachers. That is a local issue. We do need to attract teachers, and I think the best way is to grow our own, which it does take time, but in the big picture, that's not that much time. Local issues facing us, I think include like a sense of community, attending the events at the high school and vice versa, people from our high school community attending events with the city. Another issue would be students and families dealing with trauma and how that impacts their entire lives. But most importantly, we can't really predict what issues might come up. But we do work together as a board. We are a very cohesive, cooperative, positive group of people. That's what we have been. We've been able to have healthy, productive conversations in respectful ways and do what's best for the kids.
So, question. We're going to give you the opportunity to answer this question first. Okay.
What are your thoughts on addressing controversial or evolving topics within the curriculum?
Thoughts on addressing controversial or what? Evolving. Controversial or evolving in the curriculum. I'm guessing one important part of learning is through discourse. So that's part of an education. So being informed on whatever the controversial issues are, to even know what one would be for or against, is important to just even know what it is. So I wouldn't discourage controversial topics in curriculum. Part of being on the board is that I really don't have my fingers in the curriculum. I support our administration and they support our teachers, and implied in that is a trust and respect for their professionalism and their professional judgment.
Thank you. Would you like to me to repeat it? What are your thoughts on addressing controversial or evolving topics within the curriculum?
I think it's important to educate students to be able to have healthy discussions of all different aspects. But as Julie said, the part of being on the board is supporting the administration. And Mr. Booth has just been phenomenal with his leadership, being able to support teachers as well as his administration to allow them to be able to deal with discord healthily, calmly, and making sure that they're hearing all sides of a situation. I think that's really the most important. And I just champion that Mr. Booth is able to do that. And I feel like he's got a really good sense of being able to support his administration, and they're able to come and talk with him. It's really wonderful to be able to know that he can do that. So I champion that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think like the kids are going to be at CCHS for 4 years, and then they're going to be released to like the community. They need to be exposed to everything at CCHS in a way that will help them decide for themselves, rather than, as long as this controversial matter is to make them aware and able to make the right decision, I will support that. But if that controversy is to push an opinion or an idea or a lifestyle on somebody, then I'll definitely have to reconsider. But as long as it is like what I did with my kids, I educated them, I provided all the different points of view, and made them able to decide for themselves. And that's what I want for every child who walks through CCHS. I want them to be exposed, but not enforced, you know.
Okay. At this point, we're going to take that little diversion from the standard question asking, and we're going to use the red card, green card experience. So, as our first presenter said, green is our go card. Green is when you agree. Red is when you disagree. So we call that our stop card. So that's all. Everybody gets to use their card at the same time. I'm going to ask the first 3 or 4, and then my colleague will ask the remaining 3 or 4. So, shall we go? Do you agree or disagree with students being allowed to have their cell phones at school? Yeah. With your card. Thank you. Do you agree or disagree? Diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives. Thank you. Do you agree or disagree with the district's level of parent involvement? Okay. We need a color. Okay. All right. Thank you. Do you agree or disagree with virtual learning days in lieu of snow days.
Do you agree or disagree with banning books from the school library? Do you agree or disagree with banning books from the school library? So do you agree or disagree with the current teacher administration staff ratio? Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? It is important to have a teaching staff that reflects the diversity of student population. Thank you.
That was a nice little diversion away from the other. We'll proceed with further questions. The question first, last time.
Okay, so Wendell, we'll start with you.
Okay.
You don't mind. Sometimes what's best for the adults in the district conflicts with what is best for the district students. Describe your decision-making process as a board member in such instance.
So I would want to be able to hear both sides of understanding. And I think that just bringing everybody to the table and discussing what the conflict is or what the issue is the most important thing. And I would hope that the staff, administration, teachers would have the students' best interest at heart. But I think being able to have everybody come to the table so to understand again both sides of what's happening or multiple levels of what's happening, which is where to be able to make any decision on like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do agree that we need to hear both sides. And also, we need to talk as a board because sometimes we have been in a situation where I had a different point of view and talking one-on-one to Wendell and with another member, I realized that maybe there's another way of seeing things. So I do believe that the CCHS board, the current board, is a beautiful team. We work together. I do also trust Mr. Booth's judgment. I always discuss everything with him. As long as it's not endangering the student, then I will definitely do the negotiation thing and discussion with both the students and the adults. But at the moment it becomes an endangerment to a minor, then I'll definitely have to support the student because I might be their only voice.
Would you like me to repeat it?
Interests of adults sometimes conflicts with interests of the students. So yes, our whole purpose is meeting the interests of the students, and but as a school, we have to do that with constraints of the law. But I think what's been already mentioned as far as being sure that whatever the conflict is, that it's heard fully, so it's understood, and decisions going forward would be supporting what the mission of the school is. Of course, safety, emergency, those types of things would come first. But if it's just an issue, for example, a dress code, we did have students come in and address us about dress code a few years ago. And hearing what they wanted, and I'm sorry, but hearing what the needs of the adults might be, coming to some sort of a reasoned agreement is always possible.
Okay, thank you. She's first. Okay. Okay, our next question, Mr. Dabney. Can you share an example from your past experience that illustrates your ability to work effectively with Carbondale community members outside of your professional duties?
You mean like a board member, outside being a board member?
Outside of your professional duties.
I think the treasurer at my church, and our church works effectively in the community. We try to support a lot of the non-for-profits that are helping the community. So that's one thing I'm involved in. The Warming Center, Bethel. We try to support the pregnancy center on Lewis Street. The second thing is I'm also the treasurer and the band boosters. So I'm always involved in the band activities, fundraising. We did breakfast with Santa this past Christmas. We did a coffee house, trivia night. So I'm also always available whenever I meet anyone in the community. I'm always asking them if they have anyone at CCHS, if they have any concerns. And just living in the community and being in the community, I think, is all what it takes.
Could you repeat the question again, please? Thanks.
Can you share an example from your past experience that illustrates your ability to work effectively with Carbondale community members outside of your professional duties?
I would recall being secretary of the neighborhood co-op board. We had, as a secretary, I was it was a different than being secretary on the high school board. It was a paid position, but I was privy to executive sessions and things. And I think that taught me a lot about how a board is run, but also we had to deal with interesting controversies. And I would just say being in the room and learning from how a board supported each other, heard everybody's views, really gave me a broader sense of how to then understand how to work well with people when you might not agree. And I really feel like that was a good foundation.
I do need it repeated.
Okay. Can you share an example from your past experience that illustrates your ability to work effectively with Carbondale community members outside of your professional duties?
Outside of my professional duties is really difficult to separate. So two examples I thought of circle back to the school or are directly involved with the high school. So when Mr. Booth um, came on board as superintendent, we had a process developing a strategic plan, and that involved teachers, community members, administrators, other people from other schools, and some board members. And so I'm a person from a feeder school. I was a parent at the time. I'm still a parent. And also on the board. So I was serving a couple different roles. But I made some connections with people during that process and really gained an appreciation for it. The foundation board is also involved with the community, getting support from the community for the high school, which the support goes right back into giving grants to our teachers.
Julie, once again, you ended with the question in there. You will begin with this one. What has been your most significant accomplishment as a board member?
So I did think about that beforehand. A week ago when I was thinking about tonight and not sleeping. Um, and I will say I I think that I've had the privilege of being a part of lots of wonderful achievements, but I have not had an achievement personally. My uh, all the things that we've accomplished or that we can be proud of are things that we've done collectively, and it's I mean I guess I'm proud of that as far as personally I contribute to this group that's thoughtful and well informed um, and we do have experience navigating challenging circumstances. Um, so we have the confidence that we can. I have the confidence that we can handle whatever comes our way.
Thank you.
I think that's truly, Rania and Julia both mentioned this, and I think that that's what is really unique. We get to discuss and learn, but we all are supporting one another. So I can say personally, though, I was on the Building and Grounds Committee when it was just started with Pastor Swims, and I really enjoyed that. We're still on it. It's just that when we got over $7 million worth of ESSER funds, it was wonderful to have a group of administrators, community members, retired teachers be a part of that committee to then make sure that we were spending much needed federal aid on boilers, our expansion of the cafeteria. My background is architecture, and it was very easy for me to understand and ask questions. I was just telling Mr. Flowers, how much I loved being on the roof of Carbondale Middle School when we were looking at the solar panels, because I can't approve something if I can't see it. I want to be able to go and touch it, understand it, and then I can at least explain it to the community. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to concur on what both Julie and Wendell said, because I believe that all what is done as a team and a team effort rather than individual. And I also want to say that Mr. Booth does an awesome job answering all our questions before, like, we go into the session, getting us all the information that we need to make an informed decision on any issue, like before the board meeting. And we all are like more like a friend and a family rather than just like dismembered like team members. We're like we have a good oneness that helps us achieve things. Because if I've been there for 2 years, and if I would say an achievement is just that I grew a lot and I came to understand a lot of the things that makes CCHS as great as it is, like the solar system, this the CTE. Now we're like adding a science wing, like a whole new science wing, a future like an athletic complex. But it's not us, the board members, who are coming up with this. It's Mr. Booth, his vision. Like he has a vision for the school that we are so lucky and fortunate to be part of and supporting him to achieve that.
Thank you.
Yes. So we don't feel we mistreat one person on one end.
We will let you continue with the next question, Ms.
Doesn't matter.
We're
one
You've
team.
been going. Yeah, we'll let you go with the next question. What are 2 to 3 strengths of which District 165 can be proud? And why do you see these as strengths?
I have to say CTE, because I think we're the first one high school in the area to have that. And this is the future. I just received the journal for the board in Illinois, and they are raving about different schools that have had a CTE wing or like a department. And I think that's one major thing. Diversity. Diversity is our strength. And the third thing is, I think the different clubs that we support, like it gives those students the opportunity to travel, opportunity to do like projects that are really essential for them to grow, not just like sit in like in benches or like in the classroom and just be taught. They can do things hands on. So I would say those are all like the 3 strengths that we have.
Shall I repeat it?
Please.
What are 2 to 3 strengths of which District 165 can be proud? And why do you see these as strengths?
I would say the first strength that I, over the last 4 years that I've seen is that our outreach to parents, guardians, to bring them into the school more, has just really helped us understand what our students are going through. And then having the parents feel like they can actually reach out and be heard. We need to hear how we're doing. We need to hear what is going on. One of the things that I appreciate about all of us on the board is that we've had children at the school or have children at the school, and not our administration cannot be in every place at once, and the teachers need to be teaching. So there is so much going on that I think it's very helpful that they're open to having parents and community members reach out and let them know what they're seeing. I think the other strength truly is the fact that we have fiscally used our ESSER money well. And my hope is to make sure that, especially with our solar panels, we can continue to be fiscally responsible.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Repeat.
Yes.
What are, excuse me, what are 2 to 3 strengths of which District 165 can be proud? And why do you see these as strengths?
Okay. One strength is CCHS is proactive. When I mentioned the working on the strategic plan, part of that was looking at strengths, but part of it was also looking at weaknesses. And instead of avoiding the weaknesses or only emphasizing our strengths, looking at our weaknesses has become part of working goals for our moving forward. What can we do to close any achievement discrepancies? What can we do to improve any discipline discrepancies? And so we've done things proactively for that, is hiring more social workers, having an actual restorative practice expert, alternatives to suspension. We've also started with the Terrier time. That gives students time to check in on their grades, to be checked in on by counselors, nurses, other teachers, and so forth. Second is leadership, and third is our financial health.
Thank you. I wonder, we will begin with you. Is there a relationship between the district's budget and the district student? Explain your response.
Well, yes, there is the short answer. Just from nuts and bolts, we get between $15,000 to $16,000 a year from the state for each of our students. We have about 1,000 students. That's just nuts and bolts. But I think the beauty of Carbondale is that, now I'm going to forget how many years ago, maybe it was 10 or when did we do the tax, the sales tax, where anyway, we get a portion of our sales tax monthly at CCHS. That is for maintenance, upkeep for the school. That was a really significant thing. I remember I was on the campaign at Unity Point to have that pass, and it did. And that to me showed how much we care about our community. So, and that means we care about our students.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that there is a direct relationship. Yes, the money is spent on the students. I think that someone who's driving past CCHS might say, oh, they have money to do solar system. They have money to do the CTE, but it's all like ESSER money that was given like for that purpose. But the annual income, the money that is given to CCHS annually is spent on like the salaries, maintaining the building, having it clean, feeding the kids. Just all that is spent on like to run the school. It's not spent elsewhere.
Thank you.
I'll just circle back. So I mentioned, hiring additional social workers and restorative practice expert. So that is an example of the budget being tied directly to our students. When we had the ESSER funds from the government, we didn't use that money to hire teachers. We didn't use that money to do something that further down the road when we don't have that money that we put ourselves in a bind for. And so, yet we still had the need, our students still had the need. We needed more social workers and we needed some restorative practice. And so when we make decisions on hiring an additional person or creating a new role, it is directly related to the students.
Okay. We have completed the prepared questions that we have for today, but from our audience, we have about 4 questions.
So before we have those, I'd like to say that there are 4 microphone, please. There are 4 people running for the high school school board. Our 4th person, Miss Robinson, could not be here this evening. She is a social worker and she is out doing social work duties this evening. That is the reason she is not here. And before we get to the audience questions, I would like to give the candidates an opportunity to give a final 1.5 minute statement on why they want to be reelected, because you're all on the board currently, correct? So would you give us a 1.5 minute explanation of as to why you want to continue to be on the board? And I get to pick who goes first, and we've been picking on Julie forever, so we'll go to this end.
Okay. I don't think I'll take a minute and a half. I think everything needs time. Okay. I was subbing today at a school, and their lesson was you look at pressure, heat, and time when you're talking about geology. So I was served for 2 years. I was appointed then. And I think that continuity, like of service, like staying another 4 years would help me be more effective, because the 2 years I was learning. Now is the time where I'm going to be working and having an input and impact.
Thank you very much again for holding the forum. Thank you, Black Graduate Greek Council and Carbondale NAACP for hosting. I think really, I really enjoy being on the board. I like, it is my community, and I liked being on the board. And I have a senior right now. I have a sophomore in college, but it made me feel a part of my community, feel like I'm giving back to my community, and I really enjoy working with everyone on the board. So I look forward to the next 4 years.
Thank you as well for the opportunity. I lost my train of thought there for a second. So, growing up in Carbondale, through the District 95 schools and Carbondale Community High School, I had a remarkable education, not just the academics, but the people. I got to pursue passions I already had and learn about new ones that still are with me today. And some of my fantastic teachers and experiences and some of my negative experiences still ring in my voice I hear their voices, or I see their faces, or I remember those feelings over 30 years later. I've been an educator since the early 2000s. And I started serving on the board. I was appointed in August of 2016, I believe. And every year I've learned the needs have changed. The controversies have changed, and I've grown through each controversy. It's actually brought me closer to the community every time.
These guys. Questions?
Okay. So from the audience, what are your plans? And I didn't say who yet, but good, we'll start there. What are your plans to increase the number of African American male teachers at CCHS?
I think that the best thing to do is, and I believe that Mr. Booth is actually already having these conversations with the education department at SIU. I know we have quite a few student teachers that come in, but there is a broader question of how do we entice, see that light turn on and be like, wow, I really could teach. If we can see that in a high school student, how do we foster that?
Yeah, that was the discussion. What the first night I attended, the first meeting I attended, last March 2023. And my idea was, let's sponsor them. Let's pay for their college some way where like we see those kids growing for 4 years at CCHS. We have a deal with SIU where we can sponsor those kids and they become our teachers in the future. We put in 4 years of education and they serve 8, and that is something that I adopted from back home. That's what they do back home. They send people on scholarships, but they have to come back and commit. And I think that when the students start seeing like a teacher that they can relate to, that will also encourage them to go into that field. So if I was able to do that, I would love to encourage, for example, the banks in our area, like First Southern, Ventura, would you please sponsor one of those students? And they will serve back. And that's one way that I could think about that could encourage us and encourage our community, because we want people from our community so that they stay local and they stay here. And instead of just serving for 8 years, they will serve a lifetime and retire in our district.
So we have had some success with people who've been working for the school as in hall monitor. Should I just wait a second? I'm just going to wait a second. Because of the relationships and experiences people have when they are students at the high school, when they grow up and start looking for employment, sometimes they come back to us. And sometimes that return back to us for a job as, say, a hall monitor or helping with an organization inspires them to become teachers. And this school has gotten creative in ways to support individuals that are pursuing that, so they don't have to necessarily leave their hall monitor job, or just doing things to help facilitate that. Last week I heard Mr. Hunt say, let's go have the ROE go to the surrounding HBCUs and recruit. And I was like, duh. I I couldn't I hadn't heard that before, and I'm kind of embarrassed that that sounds like a novel idea, but it's a great idea. So
Thank you so much. Now, Julie, I'm not going to pick on you because you know the first should be last and the last should be first. So it's not your turn this
yes,
time. So I'm going all the way to the middle.
Middle.
Yes, to Wendell.
Okay.
Do you have any suggestions for increasing parental involvement?
So I'm just going to talk about my own personal experience because I was like, wow, if I'm having a hard time with this, everybody else is going to be having a hard time. Trying to look at the schedule or look at our website on the high school has been horrible on your phone. So just in the last couple of months, we've updated our website. There's still more information coming on, but it is completely user friendly with your phone. It's much more has good details, and I'm just super excited about that. Um, could you repeat the question one more time? Because I went down a rabbit hole there.
Do you have any suggestions for increasing parental involvement?
Thank you. So that was just a window, I should say, being able to have it accessible. I really, I'm going back to bringing in the eighth graders into the school more and more because we just had an open house. Maybe that's not what we called it, but parents and the prospective ninth graders came and got to tour it together. We had activity tables out so that they could see. Normally we'd have like all the clubs out on an activities day to see what's available. They were doing that on the day so that the parents could see what was available to the kids. So there are small steps going that way. And I know having the CTE open house is going to be wonderful. Everybody should come see it. You can get your cosmetology license walking out the door from our high school. That is just amazing. Not to mention expanding our CNA program and welding and carpentry.
I think that's a dilemma. Honestly, like for the past 2 years, that's the same numbers. Like with the 5 essentials, 20% parent involvement. It did not increase. The same parents are always showing up. Um, I don't know. We go to the community, like wherever there's a community event, like we have a CCHS table, we talk to the parents. We have amazing new software like Infinite Campus. I'm getting like notifications on their attendance, on their grades every second, you know. I believe that we can't do much except we go out to the community. You cannot like do more than that. We have all the tools, everything available. They could be on their phone. If they have that, they could be on a computer. If they don't have, one of the things is that we said, if you don't have a device to do the 5 essentials, we can provide one. If you don't have transportation for parents' meetings, there will be transportation. We did all that. We want the community to know that we're there for them. So maybe one thing I think could be an extra step is just going out whenever there's a community event and presenting as a CCHS table.
So to increase parental involvement at CCHS, some things have been mentioned that are in place. Welcoming events. So I don't know if it's called like a back to school night essentially, but as a chance for families to get into the building, to go around to see where the classes are going to be held, and put a face to the name of their child's teachers. And of course, I think that's really important. Adults coming into the building are bringing whatever their past experiences have been with school, which we don't know what those are. But it's on us to make entering the building a less intimidating experience and more welcoming and inclusive experience. I think also I think our school clubs, music, athletics can do more for junior clubs. And I think that also makes people feel more a part of the community growing up into Carbondale High School.
Coleman, how will you broaden the field of technical career, already. How will you broaden or increase the field of technical careers offered in CCHS curriculum?
Well, I think Thursday we'll see the beginning. So I'm hoping that because we've at least doubled, for example, the CNA enrollment, that program has been beloved, and they've been limited with how many students have been able to go through that program, but now it has doubled. And the fact that we are much more, Mr. Dallas Terry was working in the smallest space, doing amazing work, carpentry, plumbing. It was amazing. And now that we have welding as a full-time, and there's 2 levels of welding. So I think we've created the base, and we'll have to see where it goes from there. But I'm excited about it, especially cosmetology, because it's a beautiful facility. So I'm excited for everybody to come see it.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to concur that, yes, we created like the base, and hopefully within the coming 4 years, we'll see more and more of our students heading that way and getting the education that they need in that field.
Yes, I'll just add on to that. Career days, lunchtime, like sort of like a brown bag talks for different career paths, coming in and visiting with students and sharing a little bit about their fields. So I think those are all ways to broaden the field of technical careers.
Thank you. Raina DeBotny, this is the last question of the night, and you shall go first. CCHS has always been known for its athletic programs. How do you, as a board member, believe the district balances athletic success with academic success?
Thank you for going first with me, because we just finished the athletic strategic planning, and I was, me and Dr. Flowers, we were part of that. And that was a privilege, because this is the future focus. We want even the mission is that we want kids who can compete in the classroom, on the field, and in life. That's our motto. That's what we will be working towards in the coming 4 years. And that's what we really should strive to do, because we notice that those athletes have better attendance, better grades during the season, because we hold them accountable. Every Tuesday, the athletic director sits in front of the computer and sees who is eligible to play and who's not, based on their grades and attendance. And then we said, no, it's not enough that our athletes are just doing better during the season. We want them to be competitive and do their best all year round. And that is our new mission as an athletic department at CCHS.
Thank you.
Will you repeat the question, please?
CCHS has always been known for its athletic programs. How do you, as a board member, believe the district balances athletic success with academic success?
So I'm very excited that they did an athletic strategic plan because I think that the communication between the various coaches, you had many students playing different sports and being stretched thin. And I think that if the coaches are not communicating between each other to understand who is on their team and who's on other teams so that they can support each other and support the student academically, if we're not thinking of them just, this is my sport and I need this student to be doing their best just for me. I think we have to remember that it's an inclusive group of students. A third of our student body do sports. Let me just say again, a third of our student body does sports. They need as much attention and more so if we are having to make sure they need to be fed if they're going to be on the bus for 3 hours. As Rania was saying, I think all of those things are very important to the whole child.
Thank you.
Will you repeat it, please?
CCHS has always been known for its athletic programs. How do you, as a board member, believe the district balances athletic success with academic success?
Okay, so balancing academic success with athletic success has been scrutinized through the process for the athletics strategic plan. And like the school strategic plan, you, as a part of the process, you look at things that are not pretty, that are not going well. And so I think that refocusing some efforts to make sure that students know that they are student athletes, student is first, but also a culture that supports students trying to be a student first. For example, if I need to go to Terrier tutoring and I have practice after school, I don't need to be penalized for going to Terrier tutoring and showing up to practice late. We never know. We cannot pick and choose what motivates students to come to school every day. If athletics is it, so be it. There's more to it than trying to earn a scholarship. That's not really realistic for a majority of us. But there are opportunities for connection and character building, and just having a sense of purpose for coming to school every day. So we do need to, we can feel good, I guess, about our efforts to connect the student with the athlete.
So much.
It's on? Yes. Okay. Yes, no. How's that? Okay. On behalf of the BGGC and the NAACP, we want to thank you for coming out this evening and being here and sharing your thoughts on what you would like to do in your next term on the CCHS board. We also want to thank the audience for being here as well. We want to thank the moderators, the timekeeper, and everyone here, basically, and the audience online as well. We want everyone to, in fact, know that if you haven't already voted, you still have opportunities to vote. And we also want people to know who are here, as well as those who are online, that they should share the information that they've heard this evening with others, because we want everyone to be informed as when they do go and vote. Okay. The opportunities to vote are at the Civic Center this week, March 26th, 27th, and 28th from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. and at the SIU Student Center on March 25, which is tomorrow, from 9 a.m. to 3 is tomorrow today. What's today? Anyway. And at the Jackson County Courthouse every day, Monday through Friday from 8 till 4 and on Saturday from 8 till noon. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for this engaging conversation. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.